Good evening. Welcome to another episode / edition / installment of Free Thinkers. I'm one of the hosts, Q. We got Denise here. I'm sure Nikki is going to be on her way soon as well. Denise coming in from the side. Um, um, I think we're going to have a great show for you. This is going to be a quick one. Not quick, but it ain't going to be long and extended.
There we go.
Stuff to do. We got grown people stuff to do. I gotta get ready for some stuff tomorrow. The next some stuff we got some stuff to do. So you better get in quick. So if you want to get in, make sure you just go to the YouTube page, go to the Free Thinkers page, look up the link. If you don't see the link, let us know. We'll drop it in the comment section on here as well. Make sure you got something in your ears. Keep in mind this is adult content, adult language. And come with your thoughts, come with your opinions. Be prepared to be a part of the conversation. You can be in the conversation as much as you want to or as little as you want to. It's really all up to you. But I think we have a very good conversation coming up. I'm not sure. Our producer, Denise, I'm about to relay for her as our producer.
I'm such a good producer. I literally produce
It really
everything.
is. I mean, it's
like, I produce my own music videos. Like I co-produce my music. Like I am an excellent producer. I'm so glad you said that. My fellow correspondent Q. Because y'all, I'm so excited to get into this topic today. So Q, can you change that from desires to vanity? If you want to check out what we did last week, y'all, I want y'all to go to YouTube.
That was a good conversation last week.
Desires. Y'all, I'm telling you, we got into managing desires. Like it was so many layers that we hit there. I can't even get into it right now. You're going to want to watch it. This week, y'all, we're getting into vanity. We're getting into vanity this week. Now, for those who have never watched the show before, I'm telling you right now that if you want to have conversations that you're afraid to have at work, afraid to have with your friends, you're afraid to have with like people that you're closest to, you want to come to Free Thinkers. Why? Because this is a judgment-free zone. We accept everyone in Free Thinkers. This is the kind of community it is. Now, this is the thing. We're going to challenge you or whatever you're saying, because that is what we do. And the purpose of challenging is to help you grow and help us grow. So don't be afraid when there's a little back and forth and it gets a little heated. That's typically when we grow the most. So if that's what you're looking for, come to Free Thinkers. Now, that being said, we're getting into vanity.
Let me add something else in too on top of that.
Oh, go ahead. Thank you.
If you are currently a part of a lost tribe or you don't have a tribe,
come on.
Free Thinkers is a good place for you as well. Like I said, you're gonna get challenged. We're gonna talk that. It may get a little rough, but if you ever meet with us in person, if you ever come with us, we turn into a family. We turn into a it's a pretty dope experience. So we got Free Thinkers all across the city, all across the state, really all across the country. Like I said, it's dope. It's so dope. I've had Nikki went to my hometown and met a lot of our fellow Free Thinkers. Like it's, and then it's just, we got family everywhere. So if you feel like you missing the tribe or you're not part of the community, I'm not gonna lie, this is a good place. This is a good place to drop your anchor at. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Live?
I'm telling you, I feel it. Yeah, we live. We've been live.
Okay, we live. Yes, that's true. Like you said, you need a community. You can't get through life by yourself. You can try. We all can try, but good luck with that. You can't get through life alone. You need a community. Come over here to Free Thinkers.
And let me tell you what's even doper.
Come on, tell us.
Let me go one more step. it's kind of what we was just saying again, but if you want a community and a tribe, like you said, that's going to challenge you, that's going to call you out on your BS, that's not just going to make you feel good, but actually make you a better person. I'm telling you, we that tribe. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm saying this because I appreciate our tribe. I appreciate wherever I'm going through the city and I'm running across free thinkers and I'm running. We missed weather didn't permit, but we missed a radio interview earlier today. But Edward, another one of our fellow free thinkers. It's just there's always connections in our community. So it's really a dope thing. Look, if you don't have the tribe that you're looking for a different tribe, or you looking for an extended tribe, all I can tell you is free thinkers will be a good place to explore. I'm sorry. All right, I'm done.
No, that's good. Oh, but get this. Free Thinkers does homework. In case y'all forgot. Free Thinkers does homework. So last week, for those who didn't tune in to Desires episode, which is up on YouTube and on Facebook, we had homework. So there are two things that we had to do. Because we were talking about desires and manifesting our desires and speaking them out loud and let people hear what we want to do, what we want to think. And so one of our homework assignments was that we had to share some of our craziest, wildest, maybe not so societal pressure safe, if you will, with 3 people. And we had to ask someone for something that we thought maybe they might not say yes, or maybe whatever the case may be, we had to ask. Okay. Now, who completed their homework, class?
I did not complete my homework. I did share with 1 or 2 people.
Sort of.
But I did not. That's the other one. Okay, so I did not ask someone for something that, okay. Listen, I'm extending that assignment. I might turn it in late, but I'm gonna do that. I told a couple people about my
Q. To our credit, the last 4 days in the house too. To our credit.
Yeah, we've been snowed in. That's what I'm gonna say. We've been snowed in. We have been snowed in for the last 3 or 4 days, so I haven't even been out.
Right. Exactly.
Right. That's correct. That is correct.
There is such thing as phones.
Purpose, I feel.
I don't talk on the phone with people.
Text, whatever.
But no, I'm going to extend that assignment. I'm going to extend the assignment for me.
Okay, we're going to extend the assignment. Okay, anybody who's watching
today, did you do it, Denise? Did you do it?
I did. I did.
Oh, tell us about it. A
little bit.
So, it was nothing stand out. I kind of forgot and sent a few text messages before we started.
She said, I'm going to get my homework done on time.
You know that right before class? That's me. So I did do it.
Assignment.
Right in the hallway. I'm going to my locker before they start asking people to turn in. That's me. But whatever. So I did it. And one of the ones I did, I said it twice, but I think I may have told this to people before, but I wasn't sure. So I did it again. And I was like, hey, I wish that I could be successful as a musician and nobody know who I am. That would be the dream. I could do it, be successful. Whoever needs to know. Whoever doesn't need to know, doesn't know. And then one person was like, everybody wants that. And I was like, yes. Okay. Somebody else was like, here she go. Because they probably thought it'd be extra. And then I didn't get any replies to the other ones yet. So we'll see what they say. And then I asked my partner, I was like, hey, do you want to help me make an album? Because he's really a poet, but he does all this math stuff now, finance stuff. But I'm like, you're an artist deep down inside. So let's play around and see what happens. So I asked him to do that, even though I know it could get a little weird and maybe he might get on my nerves. And yeah, we did get into a mini argument when I asked, but I did my homework. There was nothing stand out that happened, but I think what happened for me internally, it was you want validation from other people. But what I realized is like, I don't need the validation. And it felt good to just say it out loud. It felt good to text it and
it's
type
good
it.
to put it out in the air. You put it into the atmosphere.
Putting it in the air. Right. It felt so good putting it into the air and just being like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I'm going to be bold and loud about it. And it might sound weird to some people and may not sound strange to others. And it may sound really basic, and that even itself could be encouraging, because it's like, oh, that's all you want? That's simple, you know? So that was the homework. So if you didn't do the homework, we're extending it another week.
One more week. Give me one more week.
I did it a little bit. And I say I did it a little. Didn't really go outside of my immediate. So I didn't go with it anywhere that may have necessarily planted a seed per se, but definitely made me think, because as soon as you said it, I was like, I know exactly where this is going to take me. This is going to make me have conversations with people. And when you put things out into the air like that and they're just floating around the fucking universe, like sometimes they stick. And so I know if I put wheels on this thing, there's a very real possibility that one way or another, I could maybe make this thing happen, right? So, which was a motivator to me to just kind of remind me, going back to that conversation that we had a couple weeks ago about your network versus your knowledge, right? But I did talk about with my kids after we got off the show last week. I leave my room and I see the boys in the hallway, and I was like, I have fucking homework tonight. I said, Denise gave us homework. He was like, yeah. I said, that's exactly what it is. And I told him what it was, and I told him what the purpose of the assignment was for, and I told him what it was that I wanted to do, like what my desire was. And my son immediately, he's like, well, let's do it. So
not even a hesitation.
None. He's like, whatever my mom want to do, we gonna do it, But it also made me think about who I have had this conversation with as well in the past, and what their response was. And so I've actually kind of been simmering on that more, because I don't, you ever been in a situation where like you're around people who for a fact could probably put you on, could probably get a little layup, right? Could mention your name in rooms where it's very fucking important. And I am all about that. I will forever be the dot connector. Always have been, always will be. That's what my dad did. Like, that's how we get by. And so if I ever hear somebody say something and I know somebody that needs something, I'm putting them in the same space, like immediately. And I just kind of think to myself that like you're supposed to do that for your people, right? Like, especially your people, you're supposed to always put your people on. But as I think about this desire, I think about this, crazy idea and shit, right? Like I think about the people who I have expressed this to before, who probably could have taken that seed and maybe done some things in the dirt, put a little something on their little root stimulator, done something with it to help me get to a place where maybe just maybe. But then I also think that's part of the journey as well, right? If that was what was supposed to be, it would have happened. So I have to remind myself that timing is also in my fucking hands too. So all of this goes back to me. And it was a very interesting, conversation that I had with myself for the last couple of days, and thinking about how I didn't fulfill the assignment entirely, how the ice definitely gave me a break, but who I had discussed it with, and how that went. And I still love the idea. Like, now that we've figured out and we go all back to work and school and shit tomorrow, I do want to engage with more people about some of those things, because I know that you put it out there in the universe, and there's a possibility that shit sticks. And to not
question.
Scared.
Do we want to do this for a month?
What do you mean? Like extend for a month or like a
different? Or are you saying like just continue to?
Extend this particular assignment for a month.
Sure.
I think if we do this for a month, then it's like this is just something we're doing. When we feel it, we feel it bubble up in our spirit, we'll just say it. We won't be like, oh, I'm not gonna say it because they might not. We'll just say it.
Right.
So let's extend it for a month and try to make sure that we get a few in every week.
I like that.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be the same thing. You don't have to keep saying the same thing. It could be whatever is new that you're like, I want to do this. Just say it.
Sure.
So that's the homework, y'all. You have to share your big dream goal with someone. Now, let me tell y'all this to my newbies to this game. Don't let the reactions or non-reactions discourage you. Okay, I have to tell you this because sometimes we get super excited and we're super excited and we tell somebody and then their reaction is very like blah, and then it makes you feel blah. But this is the thing, it does, because then you're like, But the thing, it takes the air out of it sometimes. This is the thing. This is the beauty about sharing this. Share it and keep that same excitement. No matter what, just keep that same excitement. No matter how they react, no matter what happens, keep the same excitement. Because there's this quote. It's success is being able to go to failure without losing enthusiasm. And so what we want to do is keep that enthusiasm inside of us for our goals and desires and dreams, no matter how the week turned out, no matter if we tried and failed, no matter how crazy somebody looked at us, no matter what's going on, we want to keep that enthusiasm. And I think the way to do it is to speak to it with enthusiasm, no matter what's going on. Now, with that being said, we want to get into vanity. We're going to do this a few different ways. We're going to define it. Then we're going to go really, really macro. Then we're going to get real surface level. Then we're going to go inward. Then we're going to ask some what if questions, and we're going to finish it with our in a free thinkers world question, which is a new segment that we've added.
Oh shoot! Okay, let's go. I'm excited. I'm like, dang.
In the free thinkers world, how do we want this world to look? Okay.
You're so lazy right now. She got everything all planned.
My brain is working. Okay, so. Do I want to get into how I came up with this, or do we want to just get
I would like to hear how you came up with this.
So we weren't going to do free thinkers because we were going to do it in person today, but because of the storm, Nikki's all like, hey, we ain't been up, y'all want to get online? I'm like, sure. In the middle of that, I took my hair down. So it's like I got my real hair going, and I'm talking to my man, and I'm talking to him about a conversation that I had with my girls. And they were talking about the time that I shaved all my hair off. And I was like, you do realize that for a Black woman, shaving her head is a big deal. And I was like, you do realize there's a such thing, which I was watching YouTube. There's a such thing as hair trauma, which is why a lot of women don't want to cut their hair, specifically Black women. They don't want to cut their hair, cut their split ends and do stuff like that, because Black women have hair trauma from the vanity surrounding me and so many other things that we could deep dive on. And so when I started thinking about that, and then I started thinking about what it's rooted in, and why do Black women have hair trauma? What is this about? And just going deep. And then I was like, let's talk about vanity. Let's talk about vanity. And that's how we got here. So what is vanity? How would y'all define vanity?
Well, ironically, the definition that the internet gave me was even
jump straight to the internet definition.
Well, this was before we even got on here, but I looked at the definition of it and I was like, damn, that was stronger.
That's the last thing I ever do is look at definition. I try to come up with a definition on my own before I look at it. But anyway, go ahead.
First, but I felt like the definition gave me a stronger feeling to the word than what I had felt prior to looking up the word. So I won't give the definition that I looked up, But to me, vanity just meant somebody who just was really vain, right? Like that's just kind of how I felt. Just like a really vain person. I didn't think too much into it, but I did start to wonder.
Vain is the same. That's the part of the same word as vanity. That's just the condensed.
So
it's the same word.
But that's a very flexible word. And that can go all over the place. And then I started thinking about, is vanity and ego the same thing? So that's when I looked up vanity and I was like, well, damn. Now I'm like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, vanity. Okay, Q, your thoughts. Because I went that same route too. Nikki. I went vanity.
Okay, so I say vanity, and you know what makes me think about vanity the most when I think about biblically. I think about Solomon used the term vanity. So it's basically my thought, or is things we give importance to that really has no longevity or legacy to it.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think that's it. I think that's my definition.
Ironically, that what is vanity in the Bible?
That's good, because there's two definitions that they gave. So there's like, when I looked it up in the Oxford, the first one is excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. Then there's another one.
I'm sorry. Back up. Excessive pride and what?
Admiration. Excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. But there's another definition, like the part 2 of that definition.
Inflated pride, excessive desire to be loved, admired, or recognized by others.
What was the other one? It was because that one's kind of closer to the first one. Okay. But this one is which is closer to what Q was saying, the second one, which was the Oxford definition. And it says that which is vain, futile, or worthless, that which is of no value or profit. So it's interesting that there's these very stark different things, which is people who being like, excessively like into their achievements and things that they've accomplished and how they look. And then the other one is just worthless. And so that's so interesting that those are like the two definitions for vanity. So it's like, it depends on how we want to approach this. You know what I mean? And is it saying that?
Okay.
Go ahead, Q. Go ahead.
Okay, so now it made me think, because now I'm in my mind, I'm arguing with the definition. Mm-hmm. Even when we talk about what is, because when you use the term worthless, and we talk about excessive desire to be loved by others, or our looks, or our appearance, or our, so now my pushback against that is my pushback against my own definition is that there still value in the present. So
value in the present of what?
The present of time. See, because how I look is something that I could be vain in my looks or my appearance. And one would argue you're investing in something that won't last, and it doesn't have any longevity or legacy to it. But isn't there value in me looking good, or me having a certain type of appearance in today? If the only thing I look at is what stands the test of time, then I negate what may not stand the test of time, but what is relevant for me today.
That brings me to
I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm like,
no, you're making sense. You're making sense, because basically what you're saying is, for example, let's say you may not like to retwist your hair, but let's say you're going in an interview, you may go, maybe I need to retwist my hair for this interview, because this could make a difference. I don't really like shaving.
I literally just got my hair retwisted because I have an interview tomorrow morning.
God is
I mean, literally, I had my right before I came up here. I'm like, I need my stuff retwisted. I have an interview tomorrow morning.
You're gonna be great tomorrow. So boom, you might say, oh, I'm not one that really likes, I kind of like to, you know, and let me just clean it up a little bit. Let me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then is that vain because is it necessarily something you want? Or do you understand how society operates? And therefore, you must participate in vanity.
I agree with both. I think there are benefits of operating or having something for today that may not have value tomorrow, a year from now, or 5 years from now. But still, even if it only has benefit for today, then that's still a benefit. I don't know. It's one of those things where if someone would call that vanity, then I would say, okay, I think it's a necessary, or I think I'm saying it like this. I think vanity has value.
So that being said, you think that this other definition of like that which is vain, futile, worthless, or has no value or no profit does not apply to vanity? Or do you think vanity in the context of something else is where it applies? Because that's two different things. Like
I think it's both. I think things that people call right. I think vanity itself contains value in the present, even if it doesn't contain value for tomorrow. But even if it contains value in the present, then it still has value. It's like, okay, so you know what's the the simplest definition of vanity? Buying someone flowers.
How so? How is that vanity?
You're giving them something. The flowers ain't gonna last. The flowers gonna die in a few days. You're giving something. You're giving something to show a value, but that what you give them has no. It's not like when I bought my son a guitar. It's not even like buying somebody a plant. A plant is something that will grow and will have. You know, if you take care of it and nurture it, but if I buy you a bouquet of roses, in a week, 1 to 2 weeks, it's gonna be dead. What was the purpose of me giving you something that had no long-lasting value to it? But you would say the thought still carries value, even though those roses won't last as long as a plant or as long as a gold ring or whatever that is more permanent. It's gonna be dead in 2 weeks. What's the purpose of getting it? It still has value, even if it won't last and it won't be here next week. It still had value to it.
So then that wouldn't be considered vanity, then would it? So we have to decide.
I'm saying some people would consider it value. Would consider it vanity because you're giving something. You're giving someone something that actually doesn't last. What does roses outside of a thought? What does it actually give? What does it benefit a person? You can't eat it. You can't, most people are not replanting them for it to do. It doesn't do anything for you. It has no. You can't resell it at a higher value.
You know what it is. Like you know what it is. It's the definition of value here that's getting us tripped up. Because if your definition of value is actual monetary value, then yes, this has no value. You know, but if your definition,
but that's what I'm saying. Most things in life have some sort of value to it. Even if you just want to look good and look fly and get yourself made up, like, people like, for what? It was like, hey, this is a moment in time. I want to maybe and so exactly. So all I'm saying is I think there's always a level of perceived value in the eye of the beholder. I think I'm getting
in the eye of the beholder. I think we're going super philosophical. Let's reel it in. Okay.
Go ahead.
On the philosophical, we can stay here all day. So what are we going to decide the definition is going to be? Are we going to decide it's the excessive pride in admiration of one's own appearance or achievements and then take it there?
Yeah, because
say that one more time.
I don't like
excessive.
I don't like the biblical version of.
Yeah, I would say let's stick with vanity in the sense of excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. That's the definition we're rolling with, right?
So, excessive pride, admiration of one's own appearance or achievements.
Kind of like a conceited
we can stay with that. I'm good with that.
Person, if you will, right? Okay, that being said, that's the definition.
So I think but that's not even biblical. So is the key word is excessive to me.
Exactly.
And who defines what's excessive?
So that's what we're gonna find out.
Okay, so keep going. Go ahead. Okay, we good. Go ahead.
So, with that being said, do you all think that vanity is something that has always existed since antiquity? Caveman days, Middle Ages, has vanity always existed? Do you think?
I think yes. So. Yeah, I think so.
Since the invention of sex, vanity has always existed. And I think sex has been around since the beginning of time, so vanity has to be around.
Tell me more.
Well, sex requires a level of attraction. So if there requires a level of attraction, then I will do something. And so again, is it a requirement that we procreate? And if it is a requirement that we procreate, is it a requirement that we procreate with this specific person that we like over the rest? There's a level of vanity, even with who we marry, who we want to have sex with, who we want to like all of that. There's levels of vanity to it. A peacock. Why the peacock strutting his feathers like that? Vanity. And vanity is both given, but it's also given because it's also received.
Oh, say now I got questions. About beauty and beauty standards now. Because
is beauty not vanity?
Do we think
okay, go ahead,
beauty, do we think that the concept of beauty as we know it today existed?
Yes.
Like someone collectively decided what is considered beautiful and acceptable for other human beings. Do you think it has always been that way?
I don't think it's collective. I think it's innate.
Do you think? Oh, see, y'all forgive me if I start going too far down the rabbit
hole.
Hold
on a second. Nikki, before your brain blow, what you want to throw something in here, Nikki, for your brain blow up?
I'm just following.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just following.
How much of what you think is beautiful today do you think is innate to you or programmed? And you can tell me what.
Oh, for me today?
Yes.
I think 90% is innate to me.
How do you prove that? How do you prove that this is not programming? This is innate to you?
Because my definition of beauty doesn't even, in most cases, doesn't line up with the universal standard of what beauty is.
Got it. Okay, that's
like
fair.
I said, I like bigger women. I like, that's not the. I'm like, no, give me. If you ain't even at least 220, I really ain't looking at you too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, you gotta. So, and I'm like, that ain't, but I don't have a color preference. My color preference is every shade on the spectrum. I don't I don't have I like everything, but I've learned I admire beauty in all forms. So there is no
Were you
one
always that way, or
no I wasn't
that way?
I wasn't. I became that way.
Walk us through that.
Or let me say it like this: I believe
I'm gonna bring
everybody's
it back around,
always
audience.
that
I'm gonna
way.
bring it back around.
Innate is innate. But you have to be the one as an individual to tap into that. What do I, outside of what people are telling me to like, what do I like?
Right.
What causes me to have a second look?
Right.
What makes me feel that little tingling feeling on the inside, or in the center of my body? Like, what? Just follow your instincts, and it don't have to be what other people like. Well, I know what I like.
Nikki, your thoughts. Do you think that vanity has existed since the dawn of time? And if so, has beauty standards existed since the dawn of time?
I do think yes on both accounts.
Tell me more.
I think that even in caveman and cavewoman days, there was a more attractive man, there was a more attractive woman, there was a bigger set of boobs, there was, whatever it was, there was bigger muscles, there was, leaner body, like something. So I think that somewhere in there, you put two of the same or more of the same, and competition eventually is going to grow, right? So I think that, the favoring of what one likes probably started growing at that moment, right? And then somewhere in there, all the other things got involved when there was just too many people. And then standards were created, hierarchy was created, patriarchy was created. But to the question that you'd asked about, damn, I totally lost my train of thought. What is the question?
Vanity existing?
Say that again.
Vanity existing since the dawn of time? Beauty standards existing?
So Q said he thinks it's 90% innate. My first thought was that it's 90% programming. I feel like 90% programming. And I'm a natural woman, and I've always been natural. And like, so that's just where I come from. So
but the question was about you directly. How do you see it? Do you see it through the lens of, do you believe that what you see is through programming, or do you believe what you see is through what's innate in you?
Like what you're attracted to today is 90.
Right.
What percentage of it do you think is programming, and what percentage of it do you think is innate to you?
For me, programming, much less, far less, far less. But I think that societal wise is definitely under a programmed lens of, what is considered pretty, what would fall under, vanity, the appearances and, the accomplishments. I think that those are far more programmed for the masses of people today.
Mm-hmm. But for you, it's what percentage would you give innate versus program?
For myself? Oh, I mean, I guess at that rate, I'd like to say that I'm probably up there with Q as well too. I don't think I like the standard. I can go out with a group full of women, and we can look at a group full of men, and most of them don't think that the man that I think is attractive is the attractive one, and I'm like, fucking perfect every time. I love that, right? So
yeah,
I don't generally go for the society version of what a fine man or a good looking man looks like. That doesn't mean that men that I think are attractive are not attractive. They're just attractive in other ways that society hasn't found on the top of the list,
Yeah.
What about you? What about you?
You know what? These are questions that I ask myself. Do I think that vanity existed since the dawn of time?
Because there always had to be a hierarchy somewhere, right? Like, that's just what it makes.
I don't know if it did.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know if vanity existed since the dawn of time. I mean, I think where things start getting
so if you don't believe that, then that means you believe that we were programmed to be vain.
I do believe people saw the benefits in certain things, and therefore, like Nikki said, a hierarchy was created based off the benefits of, dude with the jack muscles versus like the scrawny guy, and there's a girl, dude, the cock diesel dude and the scrawny guy might get into it, and he's not leaving with the girl. We talk about antiquity, right? And then maybe this woman feels safer because she knows that the scrawny guys can't run up on her guy, so she feels protected in her family. And so then women are like, maybe I need the big cock diesel dude because the scrawny guy may not be able to defend me in this situation. Like, maybe it just became it. I believe that survival, the instinct to survive, has always existed and then has bred all of these other things. And that at base value, it's only and always about survival. And I think vanity as it exists today is about profit and profiting off people's need to want to survive in the world. And that's how we got there. But I think vanity itself, I don't know if it existed. I mean, I don't think, you probably could see your reflection in the water, but there weren't like mirrors around. Like, you weren't shaving. Like I don't know what you were really doing to your hair. Like, I think people may have just liked what they liked, which I think goes back to the innateness, but all of this other stuff, I think it's man-made.
What other stuff?
The beauty standards of today, like, for example, like just what most people typically find attractive across the board. You know what I mean?
Right. So, okay. So I believe that people can, I believe that society can curve, maneuver, or manipulate people into seeing a certain form as more beautiful than others.
Right.
But I believe innately that people never looked at beauty, security, attraction at just straight across the board. I think there's always been highs and lows. So from that, I think there's always a level of vanity. I think vanity can be manipulated too. I guess that's what I'm saying. But I think it's always existed, and it also can be, for a weak mind, it can also be manipulated.
Yeah. I think for any mind, I don't even think weak. I think if you're a child and think about the way we grew up, think about the era we grew up in, think about like all the changes that have happened. There's some things that kind of, remain the same. And then there are the things that like have their peaks. A child's mind?
Yeah. Any mind that can be manipulated, or any suggestion that can get you to go against what you internally believe. I'm not trying to say negative, but yeah, I think that's a weak mind. I think I think 85% of society are weak-minded. I think anybody, let me go down the line. I think anybody who calls themselves a Republican or Democrat is weak-minded.
Right.
Oh, we right there.
If they can give you 15 lists of this is what we believe, and you decide to sign up on all of them because you want to align with a party, even though you may disagree with a third of it, then I think you're weak-minded. And you decide to agree with it or be lockstep with even things that you disagree with because you want to be aligned with the party. I think you're weak-minded. So let me go half a step deeper. Okay. For y'all who don't know, I only use the term Christian as a form just for the sake of certain conversations. But people who know me, I don't call myself a Christian, or I don't use the terminology, because either I don't agree with everything that Christianity follows. I don't agree with the Bible the way that other people agree with the Bible. I don't think it's infallible the way that people think it's infallible. And I don't agree with religion the same way that people agree with it. Now, I agree with the parts that I agree with, and I disagree with the other parts. So if we get into a deeper conversation about it, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't call that, because what I see as Christianity, meaning being a follower of Christ or following the teachings of Christ, 95% of the people groups, organizations don't really follow by it, so I don't want to align myself with it. So that's what I mean. That's why I go down the line.
But how is that different? How is that different from what you're saying about Democrats and Republicans? You're saying basically, hey, I'm going to label myself as this so you can have a understanding of who I am, but that's not necessarily, I don't follow every single value that they do. How is that different with Republicans and Democrats? They may be like, I really, hey, listen.
Because I actually don't aligned with it, and I don't call myself that. Like I said, for the purpose of a conversation, so I don't have to give a 20-minute rundown on what I am, and you know, because it's like, if we want to get to the meat of a conversation, I'll just let that label be there, even though people who really know me know that no, I'm not. So anyway, I'm just saying that's the difference. I don't, you know, I'm a free thinker. I just don't label myself with a list of, you're going to give me a list of tenets and say, this is what we believe. And I'll go down the list. I'm like, yes, 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 no, no, yes, yes, no, no. So I'm like, I believe in principle some things, but I just won't give myself a label that will align me with things that I disagree with. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It makes sense, but I think you're drawing a hard line on political parties that you're not drawing with religion.
How so?
Because if you're saying, hey, just to avoid a long conversation, I'm just going to say I'm a Christian, but to avoid a long conversation, you won't just say, well, maybe I'm a Democrat or a liberal or a Republican or a conservative. Like, you're unwilling to do it for that, but not for the
No, other. I'm willing to not say that. And so for people I've had that conversation with, then they won't call me a Christian. And trust me, when I'm in a circle of a lot of Christians, then they don't call me Christian either, because I've made that stance known well over the years.
Okay, so you're flexible.
And but it's nothing that I'm trying to that I try to align myself with for the sake of being accepted, or for the sake of saying that I'm
different. That's very different.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna get into some surface level stuff, unless Nikki, you had something you wanted to say.
I'll be simple then. I'm gonna be simple. I ain't gonna try to go deep.
We're gonna go deep again. We're just gonna bring it back to the surface. This is like a ride. We're going up and we're going down.
Let's go.
And we're gonna reach a peak. Surface levels. Okay. There's gonna be 3 questions I can ask here that I am gonna ask. What are the benefits of vanity? What do you think the worst parts of vanity are? And then what do you think the dangers of vanity are? And you can pick either one you want to answer.
So what are the benefits of vanity? What are the worst parts of vanity?
And what do you think are some dangerous things about vanity? She could fall under worse, but...
I'm struggling to trust benefits, which I'm sure that there are. So I'll wait for you guys. Y'all to come up with some really great ideas, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I agree with that too. But I think that vanity is very dangerous. I do. I think that and so this is the part of it that was surprising to me, right? When I first thought about vanity, I thought about vain people, and I was like, oh my God, my dad was so fucking vain. We used to always joke with him all the time. He's so fucking vain. He would like dye his mustache, and I mean, like, he was just so fucking vain to be just a big old ass big dude all the time. He would tan and shit. He'd be like oil and shit on his body when he's suntanning. Like, he was so vain. But he also was not egotistical. You know, he never put other people down. Like, he was never better than that person. You know, he would joke and shit, but he was never better than the next person. So then when I looked up the definition of vanity before we started, and I was like, fuck, I saw that excessive part, and I was like, well, this kind of makes me feel a little bit different about how I used the word vanity in the past. And so then when I read that, I was like, now I'm starting to feel like ego keeps coming to mind. And for me, ego is never really a positive, right? It's one thing to be proud of yourself and to be proud of anything that has to do with yourself, right? To be proud of yourself and to love yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all, I don't believe. But ego's not that. And so then reading the definition of vanity and seeing this excessive and this, you know, you're not, most people secretly don't like excessively vain people. Most people will try to be cool with them, and they'll try to, ride their nuts, and they'll try to be the homie. And, like a lot of people try to be cool with the vain person, but a truly vain person, egotistical person, motherfuckers don't really like you. They really don't. Because you have a way about you where it's beyond. Like literally everything goes back to me. Every conversation goes back to me. Everything is just me, 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 me. And I feel like there has to be a balance if you want to be healthy, right? Like to me, it's so the part makes it not healthy to me.
I have questions. Okay, I got a question, Nikki. I got a question. Ooh. What's the difference between really fucking loving yourself and what you've done and how you put it together and what you've accomplished and how your hair's sitting and how the shirt is rocking the day? What's the difference between really, really loving that shit and like not caring about how other people feel about you and you caring about how you feel about you, and vanity, which is the
you just gave the definition yourself.
And excessive pride and admiration of what's the difference?
Energy.
You said what?
Energy. Energy.
Tell me.
Because I can feel like that. Do I feel like that all the time? No. Do I feel like that most of the time? No. Do I feel like that sometimes? I do. In those moments, I think it's about how I make other people feel with how I feel about myself. Right? Is my energy malicious? Is my energy vain? Is my energy to show off to or show out to the next person, as opposed to I'm showing out for me because I love how I look. I love what I put together today. I love what I'm doing, right? I think there's a difference in, being proud of yourself and having pride in yourself, and even having pride in your appearance and knowing that, bitch, I look good. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I think the energy in which you carry it, your intention with how you use it, I think that makes the difference, because you can be around excessively beautiful people and never feel insecure or feel like they're making you feel some type of way. And granted, that's your problem. That's not necessarily their problem. But if the energy comes from a space of above all, or above the next, or better than the next, or prettier than the next, or whatever, like that's going to give the energy of the negative connotation. I feel like the negative side to that.
Oh, I got questions, Nikki. Oh, okay, Q, I know you're bubbling up. I have to ask this question. We're going to pass it to Q. Nikki, you can respond, whatever the case may be.
Okay, so I'm over here just writing. Okay, hold on. Let me go. I got the questions. I wrote the questions there.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the proofs of vanity? I'm sorry. What's the benefits of vanity? And just my response to that is the proof is in the results. So even Nikki talking about his dad tanning, doing all this, he wasn't doing it just because out of nowhere. Somewhere down the line, he realized that he got more looks when he tanned and when he did this to his beard. So based upon the results, then you tap more into a thing because you see it yielded you a different level of results. So that's the benefit. And those are benefits, whether it's, it could be the difference between getting that job and not getting the job. Looking a little bit sexier, so that HR person or that manager be like, yeah, you know what? I think I want to keep him in the facility. Those things, and women, please, y'all already know that. Y'all wear the right outfit, this and this and that. Yeah, she's less qualified than the other girl over there, but yeah, I think I probably want to have her in the building more often. I enjoy the eye candy more than I enjoy the other smart girl over here. Like those things, and we know because in a vain society, then it makes a difference. So those are the benefits. It can get you more access. It can get you doors opened up to where even your qualifications can't. And even if your qualifications are there, there could be 5 or 6 other qualified people. So that could be the thing that puts you over the top versus the other qualified people. So it's not even to say that a person's not qualified, but some things just put you over the top. Mm-hmm. So those are benefits.
Okay.
Privilege.
What are the worst parts of vanity? Okay. So the worst parts of vanity, I think oftentimes it can mask or disguise growth. So when a person is vain, then a part of vanity, when you're working on the exterior, you can fool people into thinking that the interior is also there when it's not. And if people are treating you a certain type of way because of the exterior, it makes you feel that I don't have to work on my interior. Let me just feed more into that which people gravitate towards. So then you keep growing into a shell of yourself. You keep working on a shell and you empty on the inside. That's the dangerous part of it, or that's the worst part of it. And then, you know, just to go along with that, what's dangerous, it can be an imposter of self-esteem. Like it's one of those things to where it's kind of like what you were just saying, Denise. Vanity can give you the appearance that a person has self-esteem, but even what Nikki was saying, that energy shows that it's not really anything based or promoted from the outside or exterior is superficial. So it's just that's a dangerous thing. And I say that, and this is the last part of it. When we talk about excessive pride, and going back to the definition when they said excessive. So one of the things I consistently talk about is it's a priority thing. I think everyone or most people have a level of vanity to themselves, but where is that vanity or vainness on your totem pole of priorities? And if it's at the top, then I think it's out of balance.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it? I'll say this, because depending, if we're going back to like just survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you do for a living,
right?
Depending on where you may live, depending on like what, you know, all these things can depend on how like vain you need to be. If you're like, if you're a construction worker versus like a front desk receptionist, your level of vanity is going to change because you don't need to be hot to work in construction. You need to be strong.
Right.
You need to be cock diesel. So you might go to the gym a little bit more so you're not burnt out at the end of the day, but you don't need a full face of makeup on like the girl who at the front desk might need, who her hair needs to be on point.
But again, that goes to vanity as well. Do you understand that bodybuilders are not the strongest people? They live in a certain way that they're contracting their muscles to make their muscles look and pop and flare a certain way, but they are not. Because I know my cousin actually operates in that world with power lifters. The strongest people don't have that great of bodies. Like they have, you know, they kind of look like they might be out of shape, but they don't have these super popping six packs in the shoulders like this, but it's just strength. And it's some of the strongest people are not people who look the best. But again, the looking is the vanity part. Or do you want to look the part or you want to be the part? A lot of people want to look the part, me included. I'm like, do I want to be strong or do I want to look strong? I want to look strong more than I want to be strong. I'm telling you right now, that's vain. When I look in the mirror, I want to like what I see when I look in the mirror more than saying, "Oh yeah, I'm in shape." And I have an uncle of mine. He actually got an endurance shape. He runs marathons, and I was like, "Oh, Uncle such and such, he doing this." I said, "So how he look?" It's like he kind of looked the same. He still got a belly. He really don't look like he in shape, but he can run a marathon, you know. So it's like one of those things. It's like, do you want to be or you want to look the part? And most people want to look the part. So the last thing I say on that is just that's what I was gonna say. Because even to respond to you, Denise, people who operate in that vanity, they only succeed when there's a larger portion of people who don't. If everybody operated in the same vanity mindset, then everybody's looking out for themselves. Nobody's looking out for anybody else. It makes a very shitty society, and things as a whole, as a people, we wouldn't get things accomplished. There would be no welfare system. There would be no food banks. There would be no grants and things for people who are less deserving. There would be no coat drives. And no, I just need to look out for myself. So a lot of the procedures, benefits, organizations that we have, it wouldn't exist if everybody was only looking out for themselves. But for the people who say, when everybody has enough, then it makes us all better as a society, that's what actually makes society better.
Oh, this is so okay.
That was good.
That was good. There's so many things I want to say. There's one thing I wanted to say something about what Nikki said and something about what you said, Q. I'm gonna start with you, Q. Something you said that was really stand out to me is people focus on the exterior to avoid having to go inward. That was really good to me, because what it's saying is, if I acquiesce to what people say is beautiful, I never actually have to find beauty within myself, because I'm just going to do what they like. And that means you don't have to do any inner work. Because if everybody's telling you you look good based on you following these rules that society put in place, when do you ever have to go inward? So I thought that was really good. Now, the other thing I want to say to Nikki,
let me add to that real quick, though. Let me add to that super quick. Also, when you focus on it, people focus on the exterior because it's immediately self-gratifying. You working on the inside, there is no guarantee that people are going to see the work that you've done on the inside. And every person that you encounter may not see that. You get yourself done up on the outside, then everybody sees that. They'll see it from a distance, even without speaking to you, knowing who you are, your background, anything. They're going to see that right off the bat. But people who do the work on the inside, it may take a while, or deeper conversations, or it may take time, and also everybody may not see it. But the self-gratification of that vanity on the outside, yeah, everybody sees that right off the jump. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's good. I do want to kind of push back on that a little bit, because I feel like when you do find confidence in yourself and you love you, you radiate like a different being. These are facts. People think you putting on the this and the that, and then it's like, yeah, you think it makes you feel good, and therefore you present a certain way. But if you can find that without the stuff, you still will present that way to everyone else. When you come in with the energy of like, I'm her, I'm him, I'm them, and you have that energy, regardless of what you got on, you still radiate that same. It's a different level.
I mostly agree with that.
There's still like, the beauty standards, right, typical beauty standards. But when you have that energy, you read different. Your body language reads different. Your face reads different, because you have decided that you look good. You have decided that you feel good. You have decided, you decide that. That's the interesting thing about it. There are a lot of people, if you look at them, they don't fit like the typical beauty standard, but they got something. You like, there's something going on with this person.
Yeah, okay, but Denise, but the only thing is, you're everybody, or most people, will feel or acknowledge the energy. Only people who operate in energy will actually understand that energy different. But then the other thing is, you have to remember, you're operating in a society of people who are programmed and who are superficial. So you putting on the superficial appearance will still gravitate towards a lot of the masses in a way, and will get doors open from you differently than you having that internal energy. It is, because the people are playing up to the standards of the day. And if you think everybody is woke and they understand energy, and they don't.
I don't even say they're woke and they understand energy. I just think energy just speaks for itself. Like, okay, I'll give you a few examples of dudes that I'm like, I don't know, but they're really attractive, but I don't know. Do y'all know who Alex Skarsgård is?
No.
I've heard the name. Let me see.
I don't know, but this man fine as hell, but he not though. Like, this man looks so damn good, but he don't for real. But he got something with him where I'm like, I don't know.
Again, you're talking about yourself though, and you might be talking about yourself, or you talking about some other people, but it's still not a mainstream accepted, mainstream being accepted by society. So, for instance,
other people think he look good too, but I don't know why.
I mean, I get that. I understand.
Skarsgård, y'all. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, if you are operating in a superficial society, you will get more, or there'll be certain doors that's open. Okay, so for instance, you looking beautiful as you are right now, got kind of a natural hair thing going on. You can go in there being radiant, beautiful, natural hair, and some people will be like, yeah, she's a great person, she's ethnic looking, but we might go with this person over here who has her hair straightened and she looks like she knows how to play the part better. And they'll go with that because that's how society operates.
I put that wig on in certain places around certain people, the wig gonna do something. I put the natural on, the natural gonna do something. It does definitely depend on where I'm at, what I'm doing, who's in the room.
Right.
It's a totally, these are the facts. These are the facts. These are the facts.
So I agree with you in large part. We both talking about exceptions, but go ahead.
Okay, one more question I want to ask. Then I'm gonna pass it to Anna. See if she got something she want to share. Nikki, if she wants.
You better get in quick, Anna. We got like 10 minutes, and we jumping off of here. So you better get in. Get in. Bring some strong opinions, quick. But go ahead.
Okay, quick question. Nikki said something about it's how you carry yourself when you feel good about yourself, and like almost like you're monitoring how other people feel about how you feel. I want to ask everybody. Do you think it's important to care about how other people feel about how you feel? Or can you just be maxed out as long as you're not saying I'm better than? You're saying I'm the best.
Hold on, ask that question one more time. Is it important to what?
Is it important to monitor how other people feel about how you feel about yourself? Like, is it like if I feel good about me and I'm walking around like I feel good about me, should I be like, oh, this might make another person feel bad because they're not feeling good about themselves today, so I'm just going to turn my swag down so they feel better? Like, that's what that almost made me feel like. It was like, I got to kind of monitor if people feel discomfort with me being her.
No, never make yourself feel small. The fuck? No. No. I actually had this conversation with one of my best friends, and it's one of my male best friends recently. And look, I'm not conceited. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm better than anybody. But, you know, like, you're never going to get another me because I'm the only me. You're the only you. So you are better than anybody because you're the only other person on this earth that is you. Nobody else, no matter if they can try to change their face, their body, their attire, whoever, their whole outside to make them look like you, but they ain't never going to be you. So, girl, everybody is the best or trying to be the best version of who they are. And if you can't accept that somebody else is doing that, then there's something wrong. It's a you. What do you say, Nikki? It's a you thing, not a me thing.
That's good. Okay, I got a question.
Okay, hold on, Denise. Before you jump to that question, I want to respond to that. I do look at it a little bit differently.
Tell me more.
there is a fine line. I'm never going to hide down, or I'm not going to shrink myself, but there are ways to dial back my confidence to some degree. Because one of the things that I know the amount of work that it took me to get to where I am. Number one, and then also I understand the benefits that I have received that help get me to where I am. I have very confident parents. I have a very confident circle. I have benefits that I know a lot of people may not have grown up with. So do I shrink myself down? Do I pretend like I'm not confident than when I am? No, I don't do that. But I still
What does dialing it back mean? What does dialing it back mean? What is that? What does that look like?
And then when do you have to dial back?
Right,
taking a little bit of the air out of my chest, because listen, I know there's certain things that I can say that actually comes off as arrogant. Even though I don't consider myself an arrogant person, there's things that I say because I have the confidence, it'll come off as arrogant. And there's certain things
like what, Q? Like what?
If I say if you around me long, I can get anybody in 2 weeks. This is something that I always used to say. I'm not one of those people where you're gonna see me right off the bat. I'm not a one night stand person. But if you hang around me for at least 2 weeks, then I can pull anybody. Once you get to know me and my personality and who I am and how I operate, I can make anybody fall in love with me in 2 weeks. Now, a lot of people don't feel like that. It comes off as arrogant for me to say I can get anybody I want within a certain time frame. But I don't, there's certain if I'm dealing with someone, especially if I know that they are battling with self-esteem, self-worth, self-value, some of that stuff, some of my bravado, I pull back on.
Why?
Because as someone who wants to help a person get to the next step, I want to show them I'd rather operate in what the next step is for them versus where like some of the stuff that I say or I talk about, that might be 15 steps ahead of you. Me talking where I'm at right now is not going to help you get to the next step. But maybe me having empathy and kind of talking about how I got from where they are to where I don't have to just operate in where I am. I can also operate in where I was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. That may be more beneficial in a conversation than me sticking my chest out talking about I'm about to drop this $1 million deal. And they
I don't think that she was referring to sticking her chest out like that. I think that correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't like throwing your swag out and just being like, oh, I know, like this, and this, like that. I don't agree with that either.
But the question is it important?
Saying, like, go ahead. Okay, I was saying,
well, she was saying, is it important to monitor how other people feel about you? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I think I got it. Like, go ahead.
I think it's like kind of overlapping. No, the question
it is.
I think I personally think that you should not shrink yourself and you should not dim your light, because there's this girl I was hanging around. I went to this block party and she was just so damn vibrant and extra, and she's talking about the stuff she's done and can do and will do, and everyone was just like, yo. But then I was like in it long enough and I was like, but I can shine my light and I can be bright and I don't have to shrink myself, because she is an example of like, when you show up and you shine your light, you actually would encourage people to shine theirs as well. When you dim your stuff, you encourage people to dim, versus if you just live out loud and it's just like, if you feel some way about me feeling like this, then you need to get a grip of yourself and you need to feel better about yourself. I don't need to make myself smaller, because when you shine, you literally allow other people to shine as well. So it doesn't make sense.
And or ask me how I got this shine, because this shine ain't shining because I've always been shining. Trust me, there was a lot of dark days in between this shine. So if my shine is bothering you, then what's going on with you that we can learn how to fix? Because maybe I've been through it, and then you can tell your story. I think that is. Yeah, then you could tell your story, and then they'll be like, oh, damn, you were kind of like, wow, you were battling with suicide. Wow, you actually did this. Wow, you actually gone through this. Like, damn, I can't believe that. Like, and you're still smiling, and you still have this type of energy. Like, but if I were to have dimmed that shit, I wouldn't be on this podcast as often as I was, and B, I wouldn't be out as often as I am if I tried to dim myself because of the stuff that I've been through and because of what other people want me to be like. Because otherwise, I'd be in my room, in my house. Actually, I'd be fucking dead right now. Like, that's just point blank, period. Like, so I can't, like, I get what you're saying, Q, in certain situations.
Hold on. Y'all don't get what I'm saying, though. Y'all don't get what I'm saying, though.
No, I do. I was just about to say that.
Meet them where they're at.
I was just about to say that. Like, I
go ahead.
You want to, like, be sentimental or be, like, empathetic to the person that is going through, that hasn't made it to that quite confidence yet, that kind of, like, oh, I'm going to let my inner shine. And so you're trying to help them see that they can do it as well.
So let me just rephrase so I give clarity, because I'm going back to the original question that was asked. Now, remember, the first thing I said is, no, I don't think that you should dim or diminish yourself. That was the first thing that I said. But then the question is,
you said scale it back.
Well, so going back to the question that you asked, you said, is it important to monitor? That's keyword, monitor, how other people feel about how you feel about yourself. That was the question that you asked. So as I say, even though I don't, without trying to scale back who you are, diminish anything, I personally, and this is where people feel free to agree or disagree, I do monitor my bravado and make sure that my confidence is not being perceived as arrogance, especially in the eyes or mind of someone who wouldn't understand what my confidence looks like. I do monitor, and I guess so I want to say that as clear as possible. I do believe that you should always monitor. So that's my answer.
I don't. And I think honestly, that there's a topic brewing in this conversation about what being humble versus what downplaying yourself is. And I think that is a topic we need to talk about. Humble next week. That might be our time. We'll get into it. But there's something that we need to get into about the humble conversation, because the humble conversation is never, like, the humble conversation always seems to be about someone else's discomfort, about how I feel about myself or what I'm doing. The humble conversation is never really anything other than what other people perceive, which, guess what, Q? Some people might still think you're arrogant. Some people might still think that you're full of yourself. So you cannot make that your job to monitor how other people feel. Because let me tell you, you can't control how other people feel. You can be chilling, and you could be, you may not tell them that you could get anybody you want to in like 2-3 weeks or whatever, but that ain't stopping them from thinking, yo, Q be having a lot of opinions, or he's really bold with whatever. He I don't know, he might be a little. You can't control that. You cannot control that. Like,
and I understand what you're saying from that aspect. What I'm saying is, as someone who is a teacher and someone who, I guess the thing is, what is your goal? In a relationship, what is your goal? And I, because so if I have self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, it's literally impossible for me to turn it off.
Right.
I'm always gonna have that, whether I'm talking every chance I get, or if I'm sitting in a corner not saying anything. That's gonna be there regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about me shrinking myself in that form, but it is about what is your purpose in being in a relationship with someone. And for me, and I know this ain't for most people, but for me, I'm always looking to help people get to their next step. So okay, so I'll give you another example. If I have a friend who is been homeless and they barely making ends meet, and they just got a 1-bedroom apartment, is I'm not gonna sit there and start talking about everything that I got, everything that I'm doing, and I'm not even gonna talk about my bills and my struggle right now. For me, that's not beneficial to them at this moment. And you think 850 is big? Well, wow, how about you try paying $4,000? Like, no, I'm not. Like, so all I'm saying is everything that I do, I am monitoring what's going to be beneficial to the growth of the next person. Now, is it my responsibility? No, it's not. But that's just how I'm wired, and that's what I do.
I think that's like an extra kind of example, though. No one's like to be like, oh, someone's talking about how they're hard times, and then you just go into like whatever. Like, that's just not even necessary for the conversation.
Like, it can be. So okay, but this is why it can be, because I am one of those people who's like, shit, you just gotta figure. So this is how me and my best friend talk shit. We just gotta figure it out. What's next? Like, we don't give a bunch of excuses. We don't sit in pity parties when it's all right. Look, we just got to make moves. We got to execute. We got to make things happen. That's where I am as far as my confidence, the way that I operate, and it's going to get worked out one way or another. Everybody ain't up for that conversation. Now, I can say that's just me being me, operating in the way that I am, and you know, we're gonna work through it. But everybody ain't on that level. So I'm just saying, again, not dumbing down, but I do monitor the type of conversations that I have. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to piggyback on Q, because I very much agree with you, Q. And that's, you know, that's coming from me who doesn't turn down, right? But I also know that it's all about how you use it, where you use it. You know, there's so many different ways that you can use what you have. And I guess because I come from a place, you know, personally and professionally for so long, that when you kind of are in the place of power, right? Let's say the upper hand, the place of power, right? When you're in the place of power, and your job is to hope that you can make people trust you enough to want to come to you with all their fucking horrible shit, and you never make them feel judged or any less than as a human. Like, you have to know how to use what you have. You have to know how to still be confident in rooms where there's a different way that I can use this confidence. I don't have to be this colorful. I can be this color over here. But when I go over in this room, I'm this color. I'm all the colors. When I go in this room, I'm these colors, right? And when I'm around my girls, it's a whole box of fucking colors, right? But just depending on who I'm around or where I'm at or what the space in which I'm in at, I have to be very mindful of every space that I'm in, because how you affect people, for me, is very important. Do I care about what another person thinks about me? Not really. Is what another person thinks about me going to affect how I live my life? Probably fucking not, because that's how I am. But I know that everybody's not like that. I know that everybody is not built the same way. I know that a lot of people have so many insecurities and weaknesses and cracks within their spirit that it don't take much. So if all I got to do is just put a different color on, that's all right. Because I can still be me in a way in which this person can hear what I have to say or feel what I'm feeling. Whatever the message may be, they're going to hear it because I'm speaking their language. I'm speaking a language they can understand, as opposed to a language that might make one feel standoffish or trepidation. Right. We've had people who have said they don't want to come to our conversations because they think that we're too smart. They can't have conversations with smart people like us. And we're like, no fucking way. Like, we're just people who just like to talk. Like,
and so, Nikki, even to go along with that, even in Freethink, the way that I push back with y'all and we push back with each other, I'll say that, and I also like the first time a person come on Freethink, because I'm not giving them a bunch of hard pushback, even if I disagree. The first thing I want them to understand, see, what's your priority? My first priority is let them understand, this is a safe space.
Right.
And you can get your thoughts and opinions out, and they will be valued and they will be heard, versus saying, well, let me tell you why I think you're wrong. Like, even if I do that, I'll do it in a different type of way that's softer.
Absolutely.
Because you still, before I'm just being me, I want to establish a relationship. I want to establish a dialogue between the both of us. I want to make sure that they know I'm just not disagreeing or arguing with them, but I also understand them as well. So I want to make sure that they know that they're being understood before they're receiving pushback. So all of these, again, keyword monitoring. I monitor all of these things.
I want to throw something out there.
Okay.
So we're talking about monitoring how other people feel based on how we think they will feel about what we got going on, which is an assumption. You're just making assumptions, really.
Right.
So then the assumption is that I think I have something better going on than this person, which is why I need to scale it back. So there's something that Mike Tyson said in an interview once, which is like, being humble is like a little arrogant. Because again, the assumption is that you think because you have X, Y, or Z going on and this person doesn't, that for some reason you talking about what you have is better than what they have. That's your assumption. So that's a little arrogance in being humble, which is why we need to talk about this next week.
I very much think that fits in some situations. I don't think that would definitely encompass all things, but I definitely can see how those two can be parallel with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people operate in false humility too. So I get that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Then we can get into humility, humble. That could be a whole business whole. Okay, because we don't want to take this too long, I'm going to ask the final free thinkers question of the day. So, in our free thinkers world, we have to decide what stays and what goes. Everybody explain to me if they think in the free thinkers world, vanity should exist. Yes, no, and why?
Wait.
Yes.
Why?
So, you think vanity should exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think vanity is natural. I think vanity should exist. I think vanity, as with most things in life, has to operate in balance. It needs to have the right priorities above it, and it has to be balanced and monitored and assessed consistently. But yeah, I do think if someone said you can get rid of vanity right now, would you? No, I wouldn't. I think it makes life spicy. I think it's I think it's golly, what I think it keeps the rest of society on its toes as well, because like I said, vanity can be masked in a lot of different things as well. And I wouldn't get rid of it. That's me.
Nikki, Anna?
I feel like I unfollow and unfriend the excessively vain fucking people that I happen to maybe follow on social media. So I think that I would enjoy a place where vanity was not a thing. I like spicy, but vanity has too Vanity. I mean, wasn't it like part of one of the sins, right? Like being vain. So I don't think that there's a whole fucking lot that comes out of vanity that's really great per se, for it to be something that's just so damn good we can't get. I would not have a problem if vanity was gone.
Anna?
Even in yourself? If all of the vanity in yourself disappeared, you'd be okay with that?
I don't feel like I'm excessive about myself, right? I don't like if we're going definition of vanity, I don't feel like I said I always thought my dad was hella fucking vain. I don't feel like I'm a vain person. So like I feel like I have good days, I feel like I have better days, I feel like I have raggedy days, right? Like I mean I don't think I have vanity within me excessively like that to where losing it would be like, oh fuck, you're not going to be who you are anymore. No, I'll still have good days and I'll have bad days. But I still feel more balanced. I feel more humble ever than vain. So I hope that's the energy that I put out, but that's how I feel.
Anna?
For me, vanity it stands on a fine line. Like, the way that it is currently, where we only see the outer appearance, and that's what we base everything on right now. I think if we went back to where it was, oh man, she was a more natural, you didn't have to like do so much, right? I think that is where my vanity would stay. Does that make sense? Like the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s.
Yeah.
That's where I would stay with the vein, because I do think that, men and women, let's just be honest, we eat with our eyes. And y'all know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see someone, the first thing isn't always, oh, I like his personality. Your personality is so great. Their sense of humor is awesome. No, we're fucking lying about that. We're lying if we think that we are not looking at that outer appearance in some type of form or fashion. Like, oh man, he's tall, he's got a great smile. Oh, she's nice, love a rack, kind of like we're always looking. So vanity is definitely always going to be there. Like Nikki said, it's a sin. So it's always going to be there. Now, how far you want to take it, that's on you. Like I said, I agree with you up to the 90s vanity. And then after that, I think I'm good. I'd be following Nikki. Like, no.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel out of just pure curiosity, I want to know what the world looks like without vanity. I'm like, just out of pure curiosity, I would want to see how different things look. I think things
look like
might
a black and white movie.
I think things would get really interesting. Imagine if there was like no vanity, which means people weren't trying to like go to whatever the beauty standards were, and people were just wearing what they wanted, dressing how they wanted, doing their hair how they wanted, being with whoever they wanted to be with, living what kind of life they found like acceptable to them. I think people would probably be a lot happier. Like I think social media would look different, because I think social media would be like way more interesting. I think people would be posting what interests them more than posting what they think people will like. And I think the world would look a lot different.
Vanity rubs shoulders with so many different things. I'm like thinking like outside of vanity, how much stuff would like a Corvette probably wouldn't exist anymore. Like it's like the way cars would all like cars wouldn't even have colors to them anymore. Like everything would just be metallic. I don't know what You say what?
I don't agree. I think the reason why people would buy the cars would be very different, which would mean the price point wouldn't probably be where the price point was. Because I think people would literally just buy things based off the fact that they like it. It would be only based off the fact that they liked it, which would mean people would get more hoopties too.
How many businesses would go out of business because we can't trump up this demand for it?
Yeah.
Well, then wouldn't the cost for everything probably go down? If the beauty industry wasn't the beauty industry?
It might go down, it might go back up. Like, I don't know. Because if now, once you sell now, everything turns into Walmart. If everything is the same, then now we have control to where we can. I'm not sure. I'm just saying the ripple effects is like, it's crazy for me to think about what the ripple effects would be.
Because I think,
like I said, it rubs shoulders with so many different things. I don't know.
I think beauty still exists in the world without vanity. I think beauty just looks a lot different without vanity.
I think without vanity, we'd run into more of the innate or natural.
Precisely. Things would be a lot different.
But see, I don't think that's possible to exist. Like without vanity, like what would make you different from the next woman?
Actually, the more natural I am, the more different I'm going to be from the next natural woman.
Right, because we're going to look like each other.
We all look like how we look as one. So we would actually look more like ourselves.
Yeah,
would make us more
I know. I think you would look more like us. Okay, so would you even have a desire? So do you? Dang, golly, this is so deep. So.
No, right?
Do you think that your flavor, your style, the way that you dress, the way that you don't think there's any elements of vanity in that? Because one of the things you can also say is some of the reasons I dress the way I do, or wear the hoops that I wear, or I have my own look. I want to stand out from the rest of what everybody else does. That sets me apart. Now, you might say, I just want to be me and I want to be original and just be myself. Some people, and I question in a lot of parts, hey, maybe there's an element of vanity that wants to make sure that you're standing out from everyone else, that gives you a distinctness.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like when I go put that stuff on, and I'm not going with every intention for people to turn around and ask who I am.
Is that not vanity?
I will.
Is that not vanity?
About that. I won't lie about that. Very vain in that way, especially when I'm going to do some music stuff. So that's my whole intention, is to make people say, who is that? Or come up to me and ask me who I am. Like, that is my sole intention.
And what if that bone didn't exist in your body anymore that made you want to stand out?
I think it would be like, I think people wouldn't need to feel the need to, like, I gotta stand out. I think people would be more attracted to each other's energy. You would just see people as they are, and you would be attracted to who the energy of what they were, because it wouldn't be about all it is. It would be more about your whole
creativity
aura.
Will be lost
and
in
then
the
you
process
could probably see
of that,
auras. No, because you could probably see auras then. Then if you just removed all the other crap and it was all about energy,
also
you
think
would
that
see
vanity
energy.
breeds a level of creativity as well?
I think everything breeds creativity.
Right.
I don't care what it is. I think everything, anything.
So if vanity wasn't a motivating factor in creativity, what would the primary motivating factor to creativity be then?
Feeling.
Okay.
The original reason for it is just like, I feel something I need to express. I feel I express.
Maybe long term
express.
I think it would be quicker, and so from that mindset, without adding anything else to it, I think it would be easier for people to find their one.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're absolutely
be a lot
being
more
who
people
you
in
are,
relationships.
And it wouldn't be a large trough of people looking after a type. It'll be that individual connects with me as an individual. So that could be a possibility. I don't know. I'm like, it's kind of, my brain is going 15 different directions right now.
I know, because I didn't know it was gonna, like, I knew it was gonna get deep, but it got deep. It almost makes me want a part 2, but I don't know if it's enough for a part 2. Okay.
That in itself is good. Like, not just vanity. Like, if we took away certain human attributes, what would society look like if this
that would be a
attribute
good
didn't
one.
exist?
So, I was thinking when Nikki mentioned the 7 deadly sins: pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth. Do we want to do a series on the 7 deadly sins, or do we want to do something, which I don't know if we could get that done in one episode, which is like, what does the world look like without greed, pride, lust, gluttony? Like, we would have to figure out how we would map that out if we're doing it that way, or if we just want to tap into that. Because I almost feel like vanity is almost in the pride kind of category, so we kind of already started it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. That's something to marinate on, but I would love to get into the 7 deadly sins. I think that would be really, really, really good. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, y'all, we went through everything. You guys were hitting that stuff without me having to even go there. You guys were going there. It was so good. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. And oh my God, Anna, I'm so glad you're back. I like your hair. You look good.
She only showed up since we wasn't in person. She figured she'd jump on with.
She was
Anna
like,
rock with us in person on the meets, but yeah, we glad to see you, Anna.
Is that a Hot Boy shirt?
Who?
Nikki?
No.
You. That's not Hot Boys?
That's an Outcast.
Oh, okay. That's
Patty
different.
Melton, Monte Carlos.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was
Cool it and Freddie Jackson sipping a milkshake.
Okay, sorry. Pull my hip hop card. This was a great conversation. I really loved it. We have homework for those who just tuned in. Anna, don't you go anywhere. Our homework is we're going to be doing this for the next 30 days. Your homework is, ladies and gentlemen and thems, if you have a goal, an idea, or whatever, it sounds crazy. It sounds like something that, people would look at you crazy if you told them about it. It seems far-fetched, like whatever. Your homework for the next 30 days is you need to tell at least 3 people a week about whatever crazy idea you have, goal you have, dream you have. Just share it. Now, the goal is to get so confident in what you're talking about. You will say it to anyone, and it doesn't matter how a person responds to it, because everybody's not going to respond positively. But that one person might say, hey, have you thought of this? Have you ever heard of that? And then you start building on that dream and that idea and etc. And so the goal is we want to be more bold with the things that we want to do and the goals that we have in life. We're going to start getting bold with it this year. So that's all I got. Anybody wants to leave us some closing remarks?
Great conversation. I enjoyed it.
For sure. And did I hear that you're engaged or something? What was somebody getting in one of the somebody engaged?
Not me.
No.
I'm like back with my ex. I love him so much. But we're serious. We're probably gonna get married this year and do the whole thing. And I was talking about like where I would want to do what, if I just want to go to the Justice of the Peace. Yeah, thinking about. No, you're not tripping. You're not tripping.
Okay, I was like,
got back with my old thing. She want that old thing back. Whatever Jay-Z said in that song.
That's a topic right there, actually.
What, taking that old thing back?
Taking the old things back.
Taking that old thing back. I could write a book on taking that old thing back. A novel and a movie and a sitcom, which I am working on this year. But actually, I'm quite literally working on that. But actually, yeah, guys, this will be when I'll share. So I'm going to start writing my script about my life, and the pieces are starting to come together. So I want to just actually start writing about my life, and I'm also doing an album on getting back together with my old thing / current thing / always thing. So yeah, that's something I'm working on. Throw that out there. But this was a good conversation, y'all. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Make sure you share, comment, like, tell somebody you know, etc. Like Anna, welcome back, girl. Don't be afraid, y'all. This is a community. We are here to share, laugh, argue sometimes, learn, grow, get uncomfortable. But overall, this is a place where you can be safe and you can be yourself. That's all I got, y'all.
All right.
That it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Bye,
we
guys.
did it.
All right, good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.